What's up, Knife Tube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. And what you're going to learn would be a way to get a full stone progression, or a full abrasive progression, I should say, for an excellent price. And these films are fantastic. They really are. I love them. You know, you've probably heard of it as the Scary Sharp system, which is taking a piece of float glass and these PSA, pressure sensitive adhesive backed aluminum oxide sheets and sticking them to the flat sheet of float glass. Well, that works great. You can also do it on the back of your stones. Like here, I just have a Nano Home resin diamond stone. And, we stuck a sheet of 100 micron on here. You can buy, kits like this, where it comes with basically from 40 down to 3/10 of a micron. Or you can buy like 5 sheets, 5 full sheets of like this. It's not very expensive. It lasts decently and it performs really, really nicely. As long as you're working with, steels that don't have tungsten or vanadium carbide. If you're dealing with, simple steels or steels that have chromium carbide, you're good to go. Like D2, for example. Perfect steel, 154 cm, 14C, 12C, 8CR, 9CR, 10CR, OS10, VG10. Any steel like that, and these sheets are brilliant. Or, your simple carbon steels. And what's really amazing about these sheets is they are graded ridiculously consistently. Way tighter than any stone. So like this is a 100 micron sheet right here. If you look under a microscope on here, you're going to have 100 micron average, but the extreme spread is going to be super tight. So you might have particles from 97, 98 microns to maybe 102, 103 microns, which you will never get that tight of a abrasive spread in a stone. Maybe even tighter than that. And on say on your 1 micron or your 3/10 micron or your 0.03 micron, your abrasive extreme spread is so tight and consistent. The standard deviation between particles is extremely consistent, and the extreme spread is really tight. So these films will, without a shadow of a doubt, leave a more consistent scratch pattern than any stone on the market. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care who makes it. I don't care what it is. They cannot compete with these films in consistency. Now, I know, one thing that bothers me in my videos, I know you guys, I have nasal congestion. And in my videos, it really drives me crazy that you can hear me breathing, and it's annoying. So when I'm trying, and I don't know, maybe it's making another noise, I put the microphone under my shirt. So hopefully this slows down that, you hearing me breathe. I'm not a mouth breather. I just have, my nose is never clear. I think, what is it, a deviated septum or some shit like that. But anyways, so we're going to take some D2. This knife's been used a lot. So this edge, even though it's still rather sharp, needs to go. Sorry about that. So, anyways, hopefully the breathing sounds are out of the video, but this knife has been well used. It's been shot back many times. It's D2, and now it's, because it's been shot back so many times, now it's kind of polished. And yes, it's sharp, super sharp actually, but has no bite. So we're going to get rid of this edge. And something else too, with these films, like that kit's $15 right there. It comes with 40 micron, 30, 15, 12, 9, 5, 3, 1, and then 3/10. But they have a massive range of microns from 100 down to 0.03. You can buy a pack a week. It's about $10 for a five packs of full sheets. Buy a pack a week or pack, every couple of weeks, $10-12, and after a while you're going to have a full set of abrasives that are capable of taking you from reprofiling, like on this 100, all the way to a super mirror. Because of the consistency that, like the 3/10 micron, or especially the 3/100ths of a micron, you're talking like beauty mirror level of a mirror finish, if that's what you're after. For me, I like the 100. I have the entire set, but what I really like, I like the 100 micron, the 60 micron, the 40, the 30. Those are my main ones I use. It's a little bit too low because Nano Home puts in low profile stones. But here we have a piece of 100 micron that has probably 6 or 7 sharpenings on it. And it lasts pretty good. Like, even in the, coarser grits, as long as you don't use a ton of pressure, it lasts pretty good. And it's very good quality aluminum oxide, so it's nice and sharp. And it cuts very nicely. So it actually removes steel quite quickly. It's such a pretty scratch pattern. No, you aren't going to be able to see it, but the secret is don't use too much pressure. Use some pressure, but not too much. And, a lot of people, be careful, you'll cut through it. Yes, you can, but it's 3 millimeters thick and it's pretty tough. So unless you aren't way over angle or catch it with cut it with the tip, you're not gonna, you don't have to just do edge trailing passes. You can no doubt do edge leading and edge trailing, no problem. You can literally treat it exactly like sharpening stone. And like I said, so long as you don't use a ton of pressure, it lasts pretty good. See, we already have a nice healthy burr. Now, I'll tell you something else too. Don't think this stuff don't remove some material, especially in like the 100, 60, 40 micron. It definitely removes some material. Yeah, I'd say for reprofiling or damage correction, like on the 100 micron, you know, if you're reasonable with pressure, I'd say on a sheet this size, you'll get about 20 sharpening. Like what I'm doing right now, you would probably get, yeah, 20 to 30 off of one sheet. Well, one section. Because, you know, I'm not, it's not like I'm super reprofiling or but I am removing quite a bit of material. So yeah, I'd say you get probably about 20 to 30 of what I'm doing now, off of it, before it's time to replace the sheet. Work both sides of it. That way you're, you know, that way you're getting the full use of the piece of material. But yeah, see, I mean, I still got, this is quite a few knives in, and I still got plenty of abrasive on it. Let's see if I can show you guys what this 100 micron scratch pattern looks like. Don't know if y'all can see it, but actually, we'll microscope it. Okay. Focus camera. Really? There we go. See, it's a really nice, super consistent scratch pattern. Super consistent. And that, you know, that goes across the board for all the microns. And I know it's going to sound super aggressive, but this 100 micron is perfect for super aggressive D2 edges as they finished them. Now, you're not going to get no super keen edge off this 100, you know, if you finish on this 100, but you'll get a nice super aggressive edge. I will say this. You want to be, you want to make sure if you're trying to deburr on this 100 micron, you definitely don't want to be doing that with bad steel. You want to know for a fact that you're working with a good steel. Ganzo does a really fine job on D2. So, this is going to deburr nicely on this coarse film. We could take it on down, but I want to finish this on the 100 micron. A lot of you may want it on, finish it maybe on 60 micron, for example, for their D2. But I want this to be a super aggressive edge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to finish it on 100. What? I actually really like this little knife. I wish they still made them. I don't think they make this model anymore. But this is my favorite Ganzo knife by a long shot. This one's got a lot of sharpenings on it, starting to get thick. But when they're new, they're super come down nice and thin behind the edge. This thing's had probably, I don't know, I'm gonna say 20 edges or so. And it's still, it's still decent. It's still probably, I'd say, like 22 thou behind the edge, something like that. 22, 23 thou. So still reasonably thin, considering it's, 20 edges or so on it. But this is a damn good knife, and it's comfortable. You can take these things off, that little thumb ramp, and there's a hole there that you can easily get, thumb flick off of, or get your reverse flick off of. But I actually like them. Now, if you're going to be push cutting stuff like up here, you might want to remove it because it's in the cut path. But if it's not, leave them on there, and they're pretty awesome. Like, the detent's dialed in good for the flipper action. You're not going to fill this knife. No, you're not filling it. But overall, this is a really awesome knife. I wish I had another one. Sadly, I don't. I wish I had a new one, I should say. But ooh, that's aggressive. That is a super aggressive. Still do feel a little bit of burr on there, though. This should be relatively burr free. It's probably a little bit. Ooh. Probably a little bit. No problem. This newspaper will catch any. If there is any, this newspaper will definitely catch it. Yeah, I do this to all my shirts. Literally every shirt I have, unless it's a work shirt, has that on. Look at that. That's off 100 micron too, keep in mind. Nice 2G aggressive edge. Okay, you're not gonna push cut off of 100 micron edge. I can tell you that. Let's see. We'll try it without stropping, anyways. Oh, maybe, almost. It's close. No, you're not push cut. It's close though. A little bit of stroppy strop, and it'll do it no problem. But I want this super aggressive. So what we're gonna do? Just hop over to a dry strop. I'm gonna go slightly above sharpening angle. Make a couple passes. Okay. Even that dry strop's gonna bring up the keenness some. Still, I don't think it'll push cut though. Yeah, almost. Almost. This edge is all about the teeth, all about the bite. Now, let's say you wanted to kill lower the bite a little bit, bring up the keenness, drop off some bite, stop over to some 5 micron. We're going to go at exactly sharpening angle. Sorry, didn't mean to hit the camera, folks. Sorry, didn't mean to hit the camera. Come on, watch what you're doing. Okay. I think it'll be able to push cut now. Yep. Yep. Just barely. Maybe not quite. It's right on the verge. A couple more passes and it would, but it would push cut reliably. Right now it's really almost there. See that did. That almost did. There's a little bit too much tooth to reliably push cut newspaper right now. That's not what I want out of this edge. Out of this edge, I want that. I want that high bite. That's exactly what I want from this edge. It's very, very, very aggressive. You're not sliding your fingers on this one. No. You slide your fingers on this, you're cut. That's perfect D2 edge. Nice and sticky. Nice and sticky, but with a ton of bite. Yep, fantastic edge. So, the Scary Sharp system, I hate calling it that, but These films absolutely have a place in knife sharpening. Like this, this really got popular from the woodworking tool guys, plane blades and chisels, because you could use float glass and it's so super flat, and on stuff like that, that flatness really matters. So that's where it got fame. That's where it got its fame at. But the thing is, it works fantastic for your more simple steels when it comes to knife sharpening. What it does is it lets you get for not a lot of money, you can get a lot of different, a lot of different grits. For I think it's $23 to buy the 7-sheet pack that goes from 40, 30, 12, 9, 5, 3, 1, 0.03. That's for a full size, 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of each micron. It's like $22. Now, right there, if you just add, you don't even need to add. If you're just doing normal sharpening, you're not going to really be reprofiling or cleaning up damage. The 40 is plenty enough to start on. But for $23, you literally have a progression that'll take you from maintenance type sharpening, a dulled edge but not damaged edge. You can set you a fresh apex on the 40 and work on down. You can work. So you've got a progression from just an average sharpening, say where you would normally start out on like a 600 grit stone, where you would start your progression. That 40 will handle that no problem. So you have 40 down to 0.3 of a micron and all in between. If you want to do a super bright mirror, run it on down to the 0.3 micron and you have a super bright mirror. And you have all your mid grits, you have 40 and 30 for more toothy grits. And that's $23 for those films. Or for about $10, $11 a pack, you can buy the 5 packs of single grit. So you get, say, 5 sheets of 100 micron or 5 sheets of 40 micron, whatever. They're $10 to $13 for 5 full 8 by 11 sheets, or 8.5 by 11 sheets. Pick you up a pack every week or two, and before long you'll have literally a full grip progression from 100 micron down to 0.3 or 3/100ths of a micron if you want to go that low. I personally have no interest in the 3/100ths micron. I have it, excuse me. I have it. And if you do want to get like beauty mirror quality mirrors, yeah, going from the 0.3 down to 3/100ths micron, it definitely will bring up the mirror to a higher level. But in my opinion, it's pointless. It's even pointless on straight razors. 0.3 is plenty mirror enough. But they do make 0.03 if you want it. Anyways, the films are awesome. The only limitation is you're not going to want to steels past about 64 Rockwell. That's about the limit. Now, I'm not saying that it wouldn't cut. Say like a carbon steel at 65, 66. Yes, it'll cut it. It's just gonna it's gonna be slower. It's gonna struggle when you get up there. It really does well up on like your carbon steels up to about 64 Rockwell. That would be, in my opinion, that would be where I cap it at. If I'm If I'm working with a steel that's over 64, I'm not going to use these. If it's 64 or less, I will, so long as it's not a steel that has vanadium or tungsten carbide. If it's, say, like AEBL at 64, these films are fantastic for that. Or Nitro V or 14, yeah, Nitro V at 64, perfect. Still LC 200N at 61, 60, 61, or 14C D2 CPM D2 N690, steels like that. You know, you're good to go. Just even some S35BN, you're not going to have a problem with that on this neither. S35, S45BN, no problem. That would be about where I would limit it at. But yeah, you would have no problem sharpening, production S35 or S45BN. They really are awesome. They last pretty decently. Like I said, they're ultra consistent for how long they last and the price they cost. They're a great value. Yeah, like you can anything. You got a single sided diamond plate or something with a backside that's flat. You cut it out 8x3, whatever it is, slap it on there. There you go. That's how I do it. Either on the back of Sharpening glass stones, I stick them there, or I stick them on single-sided diamond stones that are on steel plates or aluminum plates, like right here, or on like my FSKs that are on that marble base. I'll stick them on that. And I have stones with each of the grits from 100 on down to 0.3. I love them. I love these films. They're great. They're super popular in the woodworking world. I don't know why this is not popular in the knife sharpening world. It should be. It's fantastic. It works brilliant. It leaves extremely nice quality edges because of how consistent the grit sizing is. They cut fast. They last decently. I mean, it's literally all pluses. So check them out. I'll leave some links in the pinned comment. I'm telling you, these sheets are fantastic, man. You get you some and check them out. Y'all have a good day.